Brad Heller, and I'm with Revisu, and we are a collaborative proofing tool for designers. And when I say designers, I mean graphic designers, print and web.
Okay, so is it an app you install? Is it a web app? What's the product like?
The majority of Revisu happens on the web. We have a website that manages all the collaboration that happens over some sort of design document. But we also have a number of clients that you can install on your desktop. And those clients' responsibilities are primarily just to get files to and from our website.
So what was the inspiration behind your product?
We were one of the companies that entered P.I.E that had kind of an idea, but didn't really have much of a market and didn't really know if we could sell it or anything like that. So we had some idea for an app, basically, or some piece of software that could help the design community. And it was a really long, twisty pathway to getting to what Revisu is currently. We started out wanting to do some sort of revision control software for designers, because as a developer, I saw how awesome the tools that developers had for revision control stuff, or well, just tools in general. And we thought, well, crap, let's just apply that to designers and that'd be awesome. But you know, we learned a lot of things when we got into P.I.E that pointed us in the direction that said, you know, designers, they don't really need revision control software. They need something else. And there's a lot of things that go into that things being that way. And so Revisu is really the product of taking, it's kind of like a classic lean startup thing where you have a technology and you need to find a market for it, or like a Steve Blank customer development thing, you know, where we had some sort of technology that was tangentially related to a bunch of different fields, and we just kind of found the one that Revisu worked best on. And so, but it was almost serendipitous in that the problem that we ended up solving ultimately was a problem that my partner and I experienced at the company we worked for before we quit our jobs and came to P.I.E. And we both had kind of both sides of that problem. And the problem really is, like, how do developers or clients or some sort of stakeholders stay in sync with designers over a design project? So, like I said, we felt that pain at our last job, and I kind of bring the stakeholders' view to the table, and Clifton kind of brings the designer's view to the table. And it's great because we are using our software to make our software, which is a really great position to be in, I think, as long as it makes sense.
What's it like being a developer kind of forced into a CEO spokesperson role?
So it's fun. I think that developers, we tend to discount ourselves a lot in terms of our ability to you know, be articulate and talk to people. And I think that a lot of developers can, you know, do CEO-ish things, but they just aren't really put in the situation where they kind of need to. So P.I.E and being a co-founder has really put me in that situation. It's been really beneficial, I think, to me personally.
You've been in the Portland startup scene at, you know, WebMD, About Us. Maybe talk a little bit about what it's like to be a developer in the Portland area and what you see happening.
So one of the things that really kind of keeps me up at night about the Portland tech community is it seems really fractured still. There's kind of like this dynamic between, I guess I would say, older tech, like WebMD's been here for a while, for instance, versus newer tech like AppFog, say. And those two segments of the Portland startup scene, they don't seem to communicate very well. And I'm hoping that you know, programs like P.I.E and the Portland Seed Fund, they tend to bring technology together. So I see that improving a lot over time.
What surprised you most about yourself in this new role?
I think what surprised me most about myself was how comfortable I am in communicating with people. One of the things that I was most nervous about, and a lot of tech people are really nervous about when they come into, probably when they come into some program like this, but really when they're put into some businessy situation, is just doing networking and communicating with people and that kind of thing. And I think that I have kind of a knack. Well, okay, I wouldn't say I have a knack for it, but I'm comfortable in doing it enough so that I feel like we can build a business, you know, or at least start a business based off of that skill set.
What advice do you have to other entrepreneurs who may have an idea they're kind of working on the side? What would you advise them to do?
If you're an entrepreneur and you're working on something on the side that you think might have some sort of hope at being a product or a company, you need to, as cliche as it sounds at this point, you need to quit your job and work on it full time. That's the only way that you're really going to dedicate yourself to it, I think. I have had a number of projects that I've worked on, previously that were really just, they needed an oomph to get to the next level, and that oomph was quitting my job and suffering for a little while, but it's really not that bad. But it'll take you to the next level if you do it, and that's really what you need to do, I think.